Hello everyone, welcome back to Just Another Crochet Along. This is Melanie from Csdc-Chainless. I'm really excited this week to show you this fun stitch called the Zig Zag Puff Stitch. And you can see the pattern that I've made up here for our crochet along. And this is just in a red heart petal pink super saver that I wanted to show you guys. So this is the pattern that we're going to be doing today. You can see I've kind of broken up the zigzag puff stitches with some double crochets. The zigzag puff stitches themselves take 3 chains to do, and I wanted to have some border stitches in there, and I wanted to have some double crochets just because it gets a little bit lacy. So if you're doing the crochet along with us, you're going to want to use your 5.0 millimeter hook or the H. This is my boy hook that I will be using today from my new set. You can check out my review of these hooks if you want to check the rest of my channel. So let me just show you a couple different samples today. So, like I said, that's the Red Heart Super Saver. And then I also have a Karen 1 pound, and this is going to be the score that I'm including in my blanket with my crochet along colors. And I was feeling a little adventurous, so I wanted to spice it up and try with a different color. So this was my my medium gray, no, the soft gray mix from the Karen 1 pound, and the Cape Cod blue. I'm not really sure how much I like it with this dark color, but if you hang out to the end of the crochet or in the end of the tutorial today, I'll show you how I changed colors on that. And then the other thing that goes with our crochet along is my sample scarf. Let's see here. And you can see here, oops. This is out of a Penguin Moose yarn. It's a size 3, so it's a little bit more lacy and soft. And I really love the way this looks. And this is the same stitches and everything from our crochet along. So you can see last week was a rice stitch and then the cluster V stitch. One of our first videos was the Jacob's ladder and feather stitch, and then I'm working on diamond trellis up here. So you can see the feathers, or I'm sorry, the zigzag puff stitches here. You get that zigzag effect. And then this is the bean stitch. So it's similar to the bean stitch, but it's going to be a lot bigger. And it's a little bit more tricky than the bean stitch. But we'll go over that. So like I said before, this is my one color scarf that I'm doing with the same stitch counts and size hooks as the crochet along, except I'm using a size 3 yarn. And then another sample I wanted to show you is this is another Super Saver yarn, Red Heart, and this is the Aspen print. I just worked this up to show you what it looks like to have the zigzag puff stitches with the one double crochet in between. And then this is a variegated yarn that changes color every single stitch, every single crochet, sorry, just to give you an idea what it looks like. Looks pretty cool. I bet you if this was with a red and white yarn, it would look like little peppermint candies or something. And the last one I want to show you is out of my Emerald Energy Peaches and Cream. So this is a cotton, and I didn't put any double crochets in between the zigzag puff stitches on this one. So this is the top. So it's a lot more of a lacy stitch if you do it in that way. But I really love the way it looks with the variegated yarn when the puff stitches change color halfway through, like on these green ones here. It's an aesthetic that I really like. So that's what it looks like if you don't put double crochets in between. But for our pattern today, we're going to have some double crochets in between. And it was a little bit hard to get to the 30 stitches to match up, but I really like the way it turned out. So let's go ahead and get started. You need to have a starting chain of 32. So I'll meet you at the end of 32 chain. Alright, so here we are at the bottom, and we've got chain 32. And then we're going to double crochet into the 4th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the back bumps. I like to crochet into the back bumps because I think it keeps my work from turning. And what we're going to do here is a double crochet. So this is American term, so we're going to yarn over first. Place our hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then we're going to do that again, and that's going to set up our border with the 3 double crochet. So nothing should be new yet. Okay, now to start So we've got the first 3 here. This is what we just did, the turning chain and then 2. So now we're going to go ahead and start the zigzag puff stitch. So the way this is going to start is we're going to do another double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and then we're going to crochet into the 3rd stitch from where we're working. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to yarn over and just do a normal double crochet, and this is just going to give us the underneath part of what's going to happen in our puff stitch. So this stitch you won't be able to see when we're finished. So now we're going to go into this first stitch that we skipped. So this one down here, you can see these are the 2 skips. These are the 2 stitches we skipped. And we're going to go into this one. Do not yarn over first, just place your hook in. Here we go. It's going all the way through there. And then in the back, so you can see the post is going to be behind our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And then we have 2 loops on. So then yarn over and place in the same spot and pull a loop through. Now we've got 4 loops on. It looks like I've got some cat fur. And then we're going to yarn over in the same spot, pull a loop through again. And then you'll see we have 6 loops on. 3 and 3. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 6. You might have to rock your hook back and forth a little bit like this to pull it through. So there we go. And then you're going to chain 1. So this is basically the zigzag stitch, the zigzag puff stitch. So, and then the way that I have the pattern worked out, the next thing to do is a double crochet. So we're going to do a double crochet. So at this point you need to make sure, so you can see here are the 2 stitches that we skipped and then the one that we placed that double crochet in. So you want to make sure not to go into that stitch where we placed the double crochet, and you want to go into the next one here. Yarn over, pull it through, and just do a regular double crochet. Okay, there we go. And then so next up is going to be another zigzag. So we're going to skip 1 and 2 and go into the 3rd stitch here. Yarn over, pull loop through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now it does help if you make this double crochet a little bit taller than you normally do. Let me show you how I do that. I'm just going to take out this double crochet and show you again. So you yarn over and place in, and then yarn over, pull loop through. If you just pull this through a little bit more than you normally do, that's going to give you a little bit more height on that double crochet, and it's going to keep the work from bunching up. Kind of see how this one is bunched up a little bit. Hopefully if we make this double crochet a little bit longer, that's not going to happen here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, the difficult part again here, or the different part. So we have that crooked double crochet, then we're going to go into the first stitch that we skipped, place it there, and then yarn over from the back and pull a loop through. Now we have 2 loops on. We're going to yarn over first, place it back through the same stitch, yarn over through the back and pull up a loop. You also want to pull up here to make sure all of your loops are going to be the same length. Then yarn over, go in the same space, pull a loop through the back, and now we have 6 on. Yarn over, pull through all 6, and then chain 1. So the chain 1 kind of closes off the puff stitch at the end. So you can see when I made that double crochet a little bit longer on the inside, it did flatten out the bottom of the work. But this will be okay as we go. It'll cinch itself right. Right, so now we're going to have another double crochet. And the written pattern for this is going to be available on our Facebook group. It's just another crochet group, and it will be available in the files there. Written pattern. It's a PDF. All right, so now we're going to do another double. Crochet to start off this zigzag puff stitch. So we skip 2 spaces, yarn over, place into the 3rd space, pull loop through, and just do a normal double crochet. Kind of make it a little bit of a longer double crochet if you want. Okay, and then we're going to go into that first skipped stitch. split my yarn a little bit there. There we go. Yarn over through the back and pull a loop up. Oops, let me get a little bit of slack yarn here. Okay, so just pull that up a little bit so it's not too tight. Then yarn over, place in again. Yarn over the back and pull loop up, and now we have 4 loops on. And yarn over and place in the same stitch, and pull a loop. Oops, I dropped that loop. Pull all 6. So now we've got 6 up. So before I move on, I want to point out all these stitches, or all these pull over and or pull loops and yarn overs and everything, they're all going through that same stitch. So this is what it should look like. And then you're going to pull through all 6, maybe give a little rock to help your hook come through. It's nice to have a good loose tension on this stitch. And then yarn over and do a chain, and that closes off the puff stitch. So now on the pattern, as I've set it up, we've got the 3 zigzags. So we've done 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do the 2 double crochets down the middle of the patch, or the swatch or square, whatever you want to call it. So 2 double crochets, and the reason why it's set this way is I wanted it to be symmetrical, and I wanted there to be stitches on the outside, so that's how it got set up this way. And then what we're going to do now is zigzag puff, double crochet, zigzag puff, double crochet, another zigzag puff, and then 3 double crochets to finish it out. Alright, so we're going to skip 1, 2, go into the 3rd one here, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go into the first skipped stitch, pull loop up in the back, and push, yarn over, pull up again. We've got 4 loops on, yarn over, pull the loop through again. Now we've got 6 loops on. We're going to close the, pull through all 6, and then close it with a chain stitch. Okay, so go ahead and finish out the rest of this. You should have hang of that puff stitch so far. Done it 4 times with you. Let me do it one more time just for good measure. So we're going to do a double crochet in between, skip 2 stitches and go into the 3rd. Sorry, my baby's playing behind me. He just turned 11 months. For those of you who have been watching my videos, he's walking now. So we've got 4 on. And he's had an ear infection this week. Has been no fun. There we go. Alright, so go ahead and finish that out with 1 double crochet, a zigzag, and then 3 double crochets at the end. And I'll meet you for the last double crochet. So go ahead and push pause now and finish that up. Okay, so now I've finished off the first row. And you just want to check your pattern at this point and make sure that you have done it the way that I did, unless you're trying to change it. So it was a little bit hard to get the counts right. So we've got 3 on the outside, and then if you split it in half, we wanted to get to 15 to get to half, right? So we've got 3, and then 6, 9, 12 if you count by 3s, and then the double crochets in between got us to 15. And that's just because I wanted to make it symmetrical. So each of the puff stitches are taking up 3 stitches. So if you don't want to do it that way, we would have ended up with 2 double crochets on the outside on one side, and I didn't want that. And like I said before, it's kind of a lacy pattern. So you can be doing it like this if you want. So let me go ahead and show you how to do the second row. So in my pattern for the crochet along, I've been doing the chainless standing double crochet, which is from the Moogly blog. I'm going to do it with you once, nice and slow, but I kind of am assuming that most of my followers already know how to do this, so I don't want to spend too much time. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold our tension here on the hook, and we're going to pull this up to the height of a double crochet. And this is just the turning stitch, that I do to keep my edges nice and straight. So we're going to hold that to the height of a double crochet, get pressure here, and wrap it around. And then you can see it looks like we have 2 loops on the hook, but it really is just a spiral around the hook. And then you're going to yarn or sorry, then you're going to place your hook into that space that's first here, and then yarn over and pull loop through, and then you're going to finish that off like a double crochet while you're holding the tension with your pointer finger on your hook hand. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then you can let go and yarn over, pull through 2. So then you're left with a turning stitch that looks almost exactly like a double crochet. And then we're going to do 2 more double crochets here. 1 and 2. So then we have our border of 3 stitches from the pattern that I dreamt up. And then we're going to do the zigzag puff. So remember from before, we skipped 1, 2 stitches, and we do a zigzag puff here into the 3rd stitch, and it's kind of a nice big area on the other side of the zigzag from below. So we're going to place into there and just do a double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now you can see here all these zigzag, the first part, sorry, psst, my cat is sharpening his claws. So now we're going to go here, and you can see all these yarn are all going to the same spot, and that's actually where we're going to go. So this is 1 and 2 skip stitches that we skipped, and we're going to go into that first one here. So all of the puffs are going to be coming out of the same, you can see here like they're all coming out of the same area, and that's what's going to give it that fun zigzag look. So place our hook in, yarn over, pull loop up, yarn over, do it again, got 4 on, yarn over, go back in the same stitch, yarn over, pull loop up, and then we've got 6 there. Pull them nice and even, yarn over, pull a loop through, and then yarn over and pull a chain through. There you go. And now we've got our 2 zigzags piled up on top of each other. So this pattern is going to repeat now exactly what happened down below. So on top of this double crochet, we're going to do another double crochet. And that will kind of help you get back through. That first row is the hardest one to set up this pattern. Okay? Now we're going to skip 2 stitches and go into the 3rd. Yarn over, pull loop through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I've got our setup stitch. And we're going to go in here, the first skip stitch, yarn over, pull loop. Let me slow down and show you that again. So like I said before, we're going to go through that same loop. So this is the chain stitch that closed off the puff stitch from before. So place your hook in, yarn over, pull loop up.
It's okay, my pea.
Let me finish this off with you. Yarn over and place in the same stitch, pull a loop up, yarn over there, and then pull through all 6, and then close it with the chain. There we go. So we're going to keep doing that all the way across. So anywhere that you have a double crochet from the row below, you're going to do a double crochet. And then anywhere that you have a puff stitch, you're going to do that puff stitch right on top. So 1, 2, go into the 3rd one, and into the chain stitch from the puff stitch below. 1, 2, and 3. That's 6 loops on, yarn over, pull through, and do the chain. There we go. And now we have finished the 3 puff stitches from that side of the pattern. And then in the middle here, sorry, let me pull my yarn out. Oh, there it goes, rolling away. Now we're going to have 2 double crochets in the middle. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then we're going to skip 2 and do our next double crochet. There we go. So let's just go ahead and continue this. I will meet you at the end of the row and a double crochet. Just keep doing the double crochets on top of double crochets and the zigzag puff stitches on top of the zigzag puff stitches. And I will show you on the next row, I'll show you how I changed color here. And I'll use my other gray mix There we go. So I'll meet you at the start of row 3. So one more puff stitch, so double crochet, puff stitch, and then 3 double crochets on the end, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so now I'm at the end of row 2, and I'm going to show you now a few things. So if you're trying to change a pattern, which I totally understand, you're going to make sure that you have 30 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3 on top of each of the turning, or each of the puff stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? So that's how you're going to count that across. Now I'm going to show you guys how I like to add color. I'm going to pull in my pale green here. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to pull in the pale green. And what I'm going to do for now, for the first 3 stitches, is I'm just going to hold it here. So let's do the chainless standing double crochet one more time. So we're going to pull up to the height of a double crochet. Hold the tension here, wrap it around, place in the first stitch under both of the loops, yarn over, pull loop through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my yarn and just hold it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide the yarn under the bases of the double crochets, okay? So just hold it on top there like this. You don't have to tie it off or anything to start. So yarn over, and then we're going to go through both of the loops and then under that yarn. And I'm just using my middle finger to hold that yarn still in the back. And just do a double crochet. Alright, let's do that again. So we're going to, sorry my little one. We're going to yarn over, place under the double crochet, or under those loops and under the carrying yarn. Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and now we're going to start with that center double crochet. Okay, and this is where it's going to start to change colors. So we're going to, is that enough contrast for you guys? I think so. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over and place here into the 3rd stitch like we normally would. Pull through 2, or pull loop through, then pull through 2. And then at this point, at this point, we're not going to finish the double crochet. What we're going to do is we're going to change yarn. So I'm going to drop down my gray mix, and I'm going to pick up my pale green. Okay? And then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. So as you can see here, this double crochet, it's going to get finished off with that color for the light gray mix. And then our next stitch is going to come with that pale green. You might want to pull this a little bit tight. And then just hold that here. I'm going to hold it with my middle finger in the back. Okay, now we're going to switch and do the zigzag in a different color. So we're going to place into that first skipped stitch. So place our hook in, pull that new color up for 1 loop, and do that again. Now we've got 4 on, and then do that again. Now we've got 6 loops on, and then we're going to pull through with this color. Okay. And then we're going to yarn over with the gray mix. So you can see I'm holding this in the back to keep the tension. But then I'm going to let that go, switch back over to the gray mix, and pull that through the chain to close off the stitch. Okay, so that's our first zigzag puff with the pale green. Now I want to have this double crochet in between in the, I guess we can call it the base color, my gray mix. So I'm going to yarn over and place in and do a normal double crochet. I'm going to go under the 2 loops and under the pale green carrying yarn and just do a double crochet. There we go. And then I'm going to skip 2 and start my next double crochet, my next puff stitch. Okay, so skip 2 and then go in here, yarn over, pull through 2, and the last pull through I'm going to do with that carrying yarn. So I'm going to dip down here, get the carrying yarn, switch it out, hold the tension and all that, and pull through here. Okay, then we're going to do the puff part. So we're going to go into the first skip stitch, into that chain 1 space, pull a loop up, yarn over, do it again. Now we've got 4 yarns on, yarn over, do it again. Now we've got 6 on, and pull through, And then we're going to switch the colors. So get that gray mix, put it down, close it off nice and tight with that crochet chain. There we go. And we're going to do the, so what this happens is the yarn will start to twist. So at the end of every row, I normally pick up my yarn and untwist it. Pick up the skeins of yarn and untwist it. Alright, so let's go ahead and hold that pale green down again. Then we're going to place in here, yarn over, pull loop up, and just do a normal double crochet. You can see the yarn kind of shows, but not too much. Alright, now we're going to do another puff stitch. So we're going to yarn over and start a double crochet in one. We're skipping two, so go in here. You can see I'm going under both loops and the carrying yarn. Pull loop up and just do a normal double crochet. Oh, don't finish off that double crochet. Bring up the new color like that. There we go. So now I've got the new color on my hook. I'm gonna go in here. 1, 2, 3, and then pull through. And then pull a chain with the base color. Well, I am liking this a lot more than I did with the dark blue. I think this is a nice surprise pop of color. The dark blue, it kind of is just a little heavy. Alright, now we're going to go across the middle. And I know this is hard and a little bit wonky to be carrying yarn, so I'll go ahead and do this with you. So now we're just going to do the the 2 double crochets in the middle. We're going to go under both loops and under the carrying thread. So your yarn hand is going to be a little bit more busy than usual. Okay, then we're going to yarn over, skip 2 stitches, and we're going to start a double crochet, but we'll finish it off with the carrying color. There we go. And just make everything a little bit snug. Okay, and then we're going to go into that first skip stitch and pull through the second color, yarn over. Then yarn over, pull through all of them, and then switch back to the base color for the chain one. There we go. Yeah, I like this a lot better in the light. The dark was just a little too heavy, I think. So just go ahead and keep doing this across the pattern here. Sorry. So this just makes everything a little bit more complicated. I'm starting to get a yarn barf out of my gray mix, and it's just starting to mix in with my pale green behind the scenes here. So it just makes everything a little bit more complicated. I wouldn't, if you're struggling with this stitch, maybe don't try the 2 colors. It's definitely up to you. Everything in this crochet along is just, you know, how you want to do it. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to just do a double crochet under the 2 loops and under the carrying thread. And I'll do one more with you. Okay. So it's always good too to just pull these a little bit, pull out the extra slack as you go. Just a little tug. But don't tug it too tight, otherwise your work will start to weave or to wobble. All right. So yarn over, skip 2 stitches and go in here. And then yarn over, pull through 2. When you got 2 loops on, you're going to want to switch to the pale green. So here comes the pale green, pull through. Oh, my eldest son just woke up. Alright, and then we're going to go down into that space here and do the zigzag part. Here we go. Yarn over, pull through all of that, and then switch back to the gray mix. Good morning, Robbie. Yarn over, pull that chain through. There we go. Yeah, I think it looks really pretty with this lighter color. So if you feel like braving the color changes, I think this is a fun stitch to do that on. Did I not pull enough loops up? I might not have done enough yarn overs. Yeah, I don't think I had. Oh, I don't know. That one just looked a little funny. Don't be afraid to go back and fix things if they look a little funny. All right, let's do that one again. 1, 2. That puff stitch wasn't puffy enough. It was on Nutri-Slim. All right, so now we've got 6 on. Pull loop through. And switch to the gray mix. There we go. So there you can see it's a subtle difference, but it makes the zigzag stick out a little bit more. And then as you can see on the top, we've got 2 stitches in the different colors. Will kind of break up nicely. All right, here comes my other son. My morning quiet is over now. So I hope you have a good time doing this. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And like I mentioned earlier, the written pattern for this will be available in our crochet group. Just another crochet group on Facebook, and I will include the link in the description here. You can also ask questions and post your pictures there if you're having a weird question to relate. And you can also see how everybody else is doing with the patterns. I've got a couple pattern testers there, and there's a lot of experienced crocheters in the group, some that are definitely more experienced than me, so if you're struggling, we can all help you out. And it's fun to see everybody's different color combinations. So I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. If anyone asks where I am, until next week, just tell them she's stitching.